one of my favorite foods to feed my daughters because of their eczema. Now it's more their eczema is flared up during the seasons,
like the winter season mainly. Or
winter season or in the springtime or fall when it's really windy outside and there's a lot of pollen or allergies in general.
Okay.
And so, or when it gets really dry and, their skin kind of dries out. So one of my favorite things is mung bean and barley tea. So they go to school with barley tea every day. And I'm sure their friends and their teachers like, what is this mother doing? But they get barley tea and they drink it almost more than water. I find barley tea hydrating. It's cooling. And it's also, it's actually has properties that help to detox the body. It's a diuretic and it helps to cleanse the system. And in Asia, with all Asian women in Japanese culture, Korean culture, Chinese culture, drink this barley tea because it's so good for the skin. It's actually traditionally known to help the skin.
Let's stay there for a second because I did learn about barley from you. I had eaten mung beans and they're an acquired taste, but I love them. And so I did make a traditional Chinese soup that you gave me, kind of the components for, and it included barley. And so the grains that I eat now primarily is barley, but barley tea. So barley is the way I eat it. It's a grain. It's like a rice. It looks like a rice, but right. And then, but do you make the tea from that, or I don't know how to do barley tea.
So barley tea you can like pan fry or roast barley.
You take the whole bean. Let's say you go to the store and you buy a bag of barley.
And then you kind of stir. They almost call it stir fry, or just kind of the heat helps
toast it. You toast it. So you don't put any oil or anything. You just put it, let's say, in a cast iron. What I would do is I would take my cast iron pan out like you would with spices. So you just take that and you toast that. Is that what you do?
Just toast it. Yeah, you just toast it. And then afterwards that the heat helps to open up the flavor, right?
Until it becomes fragrant. Like when do you know when to stop?
When you smell it.
You smell it, then you're done.
And then you're done. And then you can put it aside. And then anytime that you want some barley tea, you take, a little scoop and then you put boiling water over it and you let it steep. And then,
a scoop, you mean like a tablespoon? Let's say maybe you take a tablespoon.
Yeah, like a tablespoon.
Okay. Like let's say the way I would do it is I would probably put it in a thermos. I like to make my tea. Or I would boil it, but let's say, for instance, you have to strain that out eventually, right? Or you would eat that at the end?
You don't eat it, no. You can buy one of those bottles that have the filter
strainer.
That way it doesn't come out.
Got it.
But there's tea bags that have pure barley. It's not ground, and they're organic. And as long as, again, you find that it's a reputable company that you trust, you can do it that way too, and just use the tea bags.
But you could leave it whole. You don't have to crush it or anything. So you could. How long do you let it sit in the hot? You boil the water. You put the barley. Would you just turn the pot off and let it sit for a bit?
Okay. You let it sit until it cools off a little bit. So after about 15 minutes, it's ready.
And it's ready. You don't have to do anything more elaborate than that.
I think the most telling sign is the liquid turns like a golden color, or like a brown, slightly light brown color. And then you know that it's ready.
Okay, wonderful. I'm going to add that to my drinks regimen because my regimen, this is my regimen in the morning. And I know you told me to stop drinking coffee and to go to green tea. Now I added green tea to my coffee. See, so I'm kind of halfway there.
You're balancing the heat and the cool, right?
Yes,
you're making it so that it's not so warming. Yes.
Right, exactly. So I did that. And then you also told me I needed more cooling, and I make a juice. It's actually a smoothie because I do it in the Vitamix. So I take whole celery ribs, whole aloe vera. I fillet the skin off, and then I'll put some cilantro, a little bit of cilantro and water, and then I blend that up, and then that's my drink after my coffee.
That's perfect. I mean, The cooling is actually the next step, right? So first you want to detox the body, and that's the dampness. And celery juice is dampness resolving. It helps to cleanse, right? All that fiber helps to cleanse the body.
So that's detoxing. So if parents, let's talk to parents because I feel like parents, go crazy because, you feel helpless when you see your child, suffering. So they could give their child a celery drink in addition to barley tea.
Yes, like some form of green, that you could put some green apples just to make it slightly sweeter. You could put some carrots to make it sweeter, but then a lot of the green items you just mentioned helps to cool and also helps to cleanse the body. The cilantro, if they can handle it, but if not, parsley with the celery.
Mint? What about mint? I think mint would be nice for children.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mint is fine as long as, again, it's kind of what they will take.
The main thing is the celery. And then if in Southern California, I always say to people and during the summertime, everybody should have an aloe vera plant in their home because those aloe. Sorry, that's so useful. Also, I think that people probably don't realize that aloe vera, you can ingest it. But that's a step above because it takes a little expertise to fillet that aloe vera. So then the next thing I do is I'll drink a bone broth, and I usually add turmeric and ginger and some seaweed into my bone broth. And then so now those are my liquids in the morning. So now I'm going to add the barley tea.
Yeah, that actually sounds like a very wholesome morning regimen because the bone broth is then giving your body really good energy. And then with the seaweed and all that is really nourishing and for the gut. Mm-hmm. That also helps. The bone broth is actually extremely nourishing for the body. And so you wouldn't necessarily need to eat a lot if you were going to do your liquid routine.
Right. And also I think the bone broth helps for collagen and all of that, which sounds like it would be a good idea for the skin as well, for eczema. Mm-hmm. So if you liked that clip, subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch the full episode and for more clips.